I think also it's time for us as Black women especially to take these guys to court and get money for the children. Moramide, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ann-Adeva and I am Black. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but on my timeline lately, I've been seeing a lot of videos of women saying like, my baby daddy is inconsistent, my baby daddy is not around, he's absent, I'd rather an absent baby daddy than an inconsistent baby daddy, and things like being a single mom and just trying to do everything on your own and all those kind of things. And I already had this thought when I watched Alyssa Ashley's video, where she was like, it was a vlog where she was busy setting up her son's playroom, and in the video she was just talking about like how she's really had to accept her new reality as a single mom, because she just felt like when she did have a child, or when she signed up to being a mother or like to motherhood, she didn't imagine having to do it on her own and not having like the father of her child in her life, or like as a family unit, you know what I mean? And it just had me thinking. Also lately I've been having a lot of memories, I don't know, but when my frontal lobe developed, it's like I started thinking, or a lot of memories from my past trauma have come up, or I don't know what it means, but I've just been thinking a lot about my life as a child and how I grew up and everything. And I was like, you know what, maybe I should talk about this and share it, because someone is going to relate to what I'm saying. I feel like, of course, when you have a child, you don't imagine that the father of your child is not going to be around. I think also most of the times it's like, from what I heard, these women knew before they got pregnant, like they could feel a little bit like, I don't know if I want to have kids with this guy, you know, I don't know if I want to have kids with him, but like maybe if we do end up having a child, he's going to change, or he's going to become consistent, or he's going to be who I need him to be, or he's going to show up in the relationship or the marriage better. But then they have the child and then it's like, And then I watched another TikTok of this lady saying like, when you give birth, it's like your life sucks and his life goes on, because now you have to take care of the baby most of the time. Black lady telling her husband like, it's important that she's Black, by the way. She was telling her husband like she's so jealous of him and his life that he lives now that she's given birth, because sometimes she has to wake up and she has to pump, and there are just certain things that only she can do as a mom of the child, and she always feels like kind of jealous of him, like, oh, he gets to sleep while I have to sit up and like pump milk, or I have to sit up and breastfeed my child in the middle of the night or whatever, because it's like he can't breastfeed, you know what I mean? So she has to wake up and she has to do these things. And for her, it's like, I hate that you get to live, like, you get to go to the gym if you want to, you get to do whatever. I can't just like go to the gym, because then I also feel the guilt of leaving my child at home. I think like when you have a child with your partner, these are also things that I'm thinking, like when I have children, I think you should also think about what happens if it doesn't work out. Like, what are you going to do if this person doesn't change, or if this person doesn't start showing up, or if this person changes for the worst after you have a child with him? I think also it's time for us as Black women especially to take these guys to court and get money for the children. Even if the court is going to decide, oh, it's just going to be $200 or whatever, it's better than you having to wait for that 1,000 every 4 months or something. It's better for you to have that little money that you can budget every month and say, okay, this is the money I have for my child. Because when I was growing up also, I remember I used to feel like, even though my mom was encouraging me to have a relationship with my dad, I used to feel like she's the reason my dad doesn't want to talk to me, or she's the reason my dad doesn't like ask me to go over to his house, or she's the reason like my relationship with my dad is not as good because they had a divorce, and now I'm in the middle, and it's like, okay, because of her he doesn't want to talk to me, but whole time he just doesn't want to talk to me because he doesn't want to talk to me. And I had to realize that when I grew up, like when I became, I think 15, 16, I grew up and I started talking a lot about that also in the family. I started talking about that a lot with my mom. And when I went back home, my older sister also brought it up with her own children, because she has one of her kids like with another person. And she said, you know, I don't know what I was thinking when I made a child with this guy, because it's such a hassle to communicate with him over things that have to do with the child. Like, it's such a hassle when she needs money, or when she needs him to support the child in some way. It's still like always a power struggle until he gives in and actually like shows up for the child. But I was telling her like, yeah, don't feel bad right now if the kids are blaming you because their dad is not showing up or their dad is inconsistent, because chances are that's how it looks. Do you know what I mean? Because you live with your mom and you go to your dad's house and maybe your dad makes a little remark about your mom, then you're like, oh, it's true, maybe my mom is the reason why, you know, my dad doesn't talk to me. Or when you go to your dad's house, he's like happy, and he's not complaining about you being there, as opposed to when you're with your mom, she's always like, oh, when are you guys going on vacation? Can't you just go to your dad's house? Da, da, da. So it's like you feel like he wants you more, and the only thing that makes sense in your child mind at the time is, oh, because my mom doesn't want me to be with him, but whole time he just doesn't want to be with you. And he's also avoiding the discipline responsibility by being the fun person, because you go home on Sunday. Do you get what I mean? It's a lot of child drama to dump on you guys, but you know what I mean. And I just feel like, take that man to court. Like, when your child is growing up, like for me, when I was growing up and I wasn't having things, when every month I'm asking for something and I'm being told, no, I don't have money for this because I had to pay for that, or I don't have money for this, should have asked me this last month, or shoes are not important right now, or this is not important right now. For me, all I'm hearing is, you're not providing. Like, that's all I'm hearing. You're not a good mom, you're not providing, my life sucks. That's all I'm hearing. I'm not hearing like the financial aspect of things. And I also don't think you should give your children the burden of knowing your financial situation. Like, you shouldn't tell your children that you don't have money, or that you guys are struggling right now, or you don't know how you're gonna pay the bills. Like, that shouldn't be your like a thought in your child's mind, because your kids will also start like not telling you their needs, because they feel like, if I tell her that I need this, now she's going to be under stress because she already mentioned that she had to pay this other bill. But your child is just supposed to live and experience life, and if you can't afford something, come up with another way or another phrase to say the things, you know. Just be like, oh, we have a budget of how we spend our money, so we can't just, you know, spend money on things that are not an emergency, but let's look into having what you want next month, or maybe we can save for it over the next 2-3 months, like that, so that the kid doesn't feel like an inconvenience, if I can say it like that. Yeah, because I feel like when you're a single mom, all the burden is on you to raise your child grow your child into the person that they want to be. And when they're young, they don't really understand those things. Like, when I was young, I didn't really understand also the bad things that happened in my parents' marriage, and also the behavior of my dad, if I can say it that way. Because I also think, as a woman, the way you allow your husband to treat you is the way that he's going to treat your children, right? So I feel like also that's why I'm so hard on my husband sometimes, because I'm like, I don't want to put up with something, because I'm so used to being mistreated from childhood that I'm gonna expect my kids to go through the same thing. Or if at least I cannot speak up for myself all the time, I need to put myself in that mental space to be able to speak up for my children. Like, okay, I can't maybe tell my husband to stop picking me up late from the train station, but when my kids are here, I have to tell him, like, can you stand in back with this school? Like, my kids can't be the last kids that are being picked up all the time, you know. I have to put that pressure to be like, show up, even if I couldn't do it for myself. Because I feel like the way that he was in the marriage is just how he turned out to be when I was born. So when I was growing up and I was like speaking up for myself, because also my mom raised me to speak up for myself, it was like, he was like, who does bitch think she is? So I was like, who does this man think he is?
Who are you?
I'm Pam. Who are you?
I'm the owner of this house.
Oh, because I was speaking for myself, you know. I would be like, I need you to do this for me, I need you to do that for me. I even tell my little sister now, like, ask him for money, girl. Did you ask him for money? Ask him to help you with this, ask him to help you with that. Because I think if we don't do those things, men will just keep being how they are. And I think also us raising more broken families, or having more broken families in the Black community, is not really to our favor as a people, because I think our resilience and our perseverance as a people was reliant on us being a family and us being like united. Because now if we keep just getting divorced, keep breaking up, keep having children outside the family or outside the household, then we're not gonna want to talk to each other. Do you know what I mean? Because now you guys broke up, maybe your baby daddy made now kids with another lady, he doesn't talk to you anymore, doesn't care about your kids anymore. Now there's a broken family and another broken family and a mixed family and an extended family. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. And then these families are not talking to each other because the mom and dad doesn't talk to each other. Or when the kids come over, the dad's family mistreats the children because he's not with the mom anymore. And I really hate that. And even when my parents got a divorce, like, I remember some of my aunts and uncles would come and like try to get the tea from us when we were kids. And I was like, I'm 8 years old. Like, why are you asking me why my parents got a divorce? Like, or why are you asking me why my parents are having marital problems? Like, how am I supposed to answer this question? Like, I remember people would come up to me and be like, so why did your parents get a divorce? I heard your parents are getting a divorce because of this. I heard your parents are doing this and that. Or they would ask me like how my stepmother is as a person, or like how it is to be around her, or what kind of person she is. Or they would try to get into my head and like tell me to do mean things to her, or to be mean to her because she's my dad's new wife and stuff. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on this day?
What the fuck is going on in here on this?
Besides making sure that you take your baby daddy to court, I would also say don't take all the responsibility of your baby daddy not being present as your fault. Because I know society makes it seem like because he's a bad man, it's probably because you're doing something. Because he's not showing up for his kids, it's probably because you're doing something, or something that you're not doing, or whatever. And I feel like as a society, the more blame we put on women, the worse it's gonna be to address these things when the time goes by. Like, don't feel like, oh, I'm a bad mom or whatever. Take that man to court, girl, because your child is not going to remember how his dad didn't show up. Your child is only going to remember the things that he didn't have when they were growing up. I remember things that I didn't have. I didn't care to think about whether my dad loves me or whether my dad is in my life or whatever. I was just like, okay, it's another month, I don't have the ulcers that I want. It's another month, I don't have the hairstyle that I want. It's another month, I have to share my toys with my siblings. It's another month, I don't have my own room. It's another month, I don't have my own bed. Like, that's all I'm thinking. I'm not thinking about what's going on between adult people. I'm not thinking about also the ego, because I know in my family a lot of women say things like, yeah, he knows he has kids, I don't have to remind a man that he has a child. If he's not gonna come and support the child, I'm gonna just figure it out on my own. Good and well, but imagine how much better of a life your child would have if you just took him to court. Just imagine how much better of a life your child would have. Your child would be able to go on vacation, maybe. Your child would be able to have the things that they need. You'll be able to afford your child also the resources that they need, like to be in spaces that they need, to sign them up for sports, to have them network with people from other economic backgrounds. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, you could send your child to a better school, you could send your child to a private school, you could send your child to like a private high school, and they can get to know people that they can network with in university and set them up for a better life in general. Like, you can afford to support them in university, afford to help them with their rent and stuff like that. You can even save all that money until they're 18 and do something with it, like get them a driver's license or something. Like,
What's not clicking? What's not clicking?
unfortunately, we have to stop always thinking, I'm gonna stand by him, I'm not a snitch, I don't want to get him in trouble, I don't want to complicate things. Girl, that man doesn't think about you. He doesn't think about you. When he's going to bed, he doesn't think about you. When he's with his new family, he doesn't think about you. When he's with his new girlfriend, he doesn't think about you. I always used to wonder, like, how are these men with kids? Like, that's why I always said when I was growing up, like when I was a teenager, I used to say, me, I'm not gonna date any guy with a child, because how do you have time to date when you have a child? How do you have time to be gallivanting the streets and sleeping around when you have a child? Go help that lady with your child. Go help her with your kid, please. So, what did we learn today? Take that man to court, get your coins, don't blame yourself, get a better life for your child, and that's on period. I know these men are always gonna think, oh, the money that I'm sending her, she's just using it to buy her wigs. And
what if I am the problem? Okay.
you need to be in a right mental state to take care of a child. So if you need that weave to take care of your child, if you need your little nails done to take care of your child, if you need a BBL and a titty lift to be a better mom, then that's what you need, and that's on period. No one can judge you, because what, you're the best mom for your child. That's something I told my sister when she gave birth, which is funny because I don't have any kids, but I remember she used to be so obsessed. She would do everything, like, and in our culture, when you give birth, you're not supposed to do anything except breastfeed. Like, you're just supposed to lie in the bed, focus on getting well. That's all you need to do. Maybe you can take a walk here and there, but everything else, as in washing your baby, getting your baby dressed, You just have to focus on yourself. Like, even cooking, you don't have to cook. Everyone else is cooking. People will even feed you literally when you give birth, because you just have to focus on getting mommy right, okay? In the mental state, in the physical state, so she can be ready for the next few months, okay? That's all you need to focus on. If you don't rest, nobody's gonna be the mom that your child needs. Yo, get into it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do like, share, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, because this percent of people are watching but are not subscribed, and I need this percent of people to be subscribed. Thank you so much for being here. See you in the next video. Love you. Bye.